Welcome to episode 121 of Life with Jason. Enough. The purpose of this topic today is honestly a lot for myself, but I also wanted to bring up the idea of what is enough. You see, there are times in our lives when we have to say enough to the things that we're doing, the habits that we are living out, and set them aside. And so I want to speak into that today. Join me. We all have breaking points, and those breaking points can emanate in different ways. But sometimes we have to get pushed to that breaking point before we will take action. Hence why I'm saying enough. You see, to be honest with you, a large reason for the situation I am in right now, whether it be financial stress or whatever, has a lot to do with my own doing. I've been procrastinating on things. I've been allowing myself to just wallow and not really fully take responsibility for managing my time and doing things efficiently or effectively. Yes, I have been doing a lot of things to move forward and make great progress, and I'm not wanting to dismiss that, because I am celebrating the fact that I have made huge progresses. But in other areas, I have been allowing myself to not be responsible to the point that I should be. And it's not a matter of saying, oh, I should have done this, I should have done that. It's just looking at it from a realistic perspective. The only thing that's been holding me back has been myself. So enough of this living small. Enough of this scarcity mindset. So what does that look? What does that mean? What does that entail for me in particular as I move forward and continue to push forward in the things that I'm pursuing? Because obviously there are some things that are beyond my control. And that's okay. I have to accept that, and I do accept that. But for the things that are in my control, for the things that I am capable of doing, for the things that I am capable of putting into alignment, I have to take responsibility for that. So for instance, I've mentioned a few times that I am creating content to go alongside with Lifting the Soul Ministries. I'm creating courses and stuff like that. And to be honest with you, all I've got right now is just a basic outline of what those courses look like. And that's it. I haven't started scripting anything for the videos. I haven't started recording any of the videos or anything like that. And I've had plenty of time to even start on some of those things. But I've chosen, and I'm making the distinction here, I've made choices to allow myself to meander, to procrastinate. Oh, I'll do it tomorrow. Oh, you know what? Yeah, whatever, I'll pass on this, right? And I'll do things like play games on my phone or even on my computer for entertainment purposes. And I'm not saying not to have entertainment and stuff like that, but when I am doing it for hours, when I could be doing something that could be of more benefit and push forward with where I'm going. There's something going on there. And so the other question I need to ask myself is, why am I doing this? Well, it goes back to the age-old Jason, fear of being successful. Right? Who am I to be this guy that has this story to share? It goes back to that scarcity mindset. Who am I to be prosperous? Who am I to have this abundance? Which is all BS excuses. But this is the stuff that runs through my mind. And so when I say enough, I'm saying enough to these misaligned thought processes. So what that means is now I'm being accountable by sharing this with you guys, by being live and being vulnerable to say, this is where I'm at, this is what I've been doing, this is what's been happening. I now have to take responsibility and say, I'm going to get some stuff done. And I have been putting things into place to make that happen. I've talked to my personal coach, and I have been setting up a more appropriate schedule to make things happen. See, the other part to what is going on is, because I don't have this content created and I feel that this content is pivotal to what I'm offering in Lifting the Soul Ministries, how then can I sell the subscriptions that I'm wanting people to subscribe to if I don't have the content there? It's not really ethical, is it, to sell something that you don't have? Now, I do realize that there are people who sell things in advance, saying that this is going to be on the market. We just need advance funding, and through this advance funding, we will then create the product. And that does work to a degree. And I'm not saying that that isn't possible for me to do. And yes, that would give me more accountability, because now I'm giving myself a timeline to say that I have to have this done by this time, so that the people who have paid for the product will have access to it when I say that it's going to be accessible for them to view. And so there's many ways that I can tackle this. There's many ways that I can view this. But the biggest thing is that I've got to get to it. I got to put my nose to the grindstone. If I am going to see this through, and I realize that there's more than just me behind the scenes doing this, right? I still believe in the spiritual aspect of it, that God has prompted me into this, that He has shown me this vision. And I do believe that it is blessed and that it will take off and that people will see the value in the product that I have to offer. And it's not about me in the sense, even this whole thing with Lifting the Soul Ministries, it's not about me becoming some wealthy person off of this, off of other people. It's ultimately about what I have to offer to serve those others. And so enough of hiding my talents, enough of hiding my perspective, enough of shrinking back from helping those who need the help that I can offer. Because you know what? Then it's not about me. It's not about the fact that I'm getting low on finances or whatever. It's now that I'm not being able to help and serve those that I am called to serve. So enough. Enough of shrinking back from what I've been called to. What I believe I've been called to. Because now I'm not the only one that's suffering. Those customers, those clients, those people who will be reaching out for the services that I can provide are going to be suffering for longer because of my fears, my delays, because of my procrastination. It's amazing how life changes and your perspective changes when you extend it out beyond yourself. It's amazing to see how our actions or inactions can directly or indirectly affect others, even people we don't even know. I believe in a world that is connected. We are all connected in some way, somehow, energetically. God created us in that way. And so my actions or inactions do ultimately have an effect on others beyond me. And so I got to get out of this selfish mentality about it, that it is all about me. Because it goes beyond me. It goes to all those who come across my path. So enough of living small, Jason. Enough of shrinking back, hiding in fear. Enough of that scarcity mindset. Because I do have a promise. I have a promise that was given to us through the scriptures that says all things. We can do all things through the one who created us. That means that God has given me gifts, talents, and abilities. He's allowed my life story to unravel as it has, so that I then can move forward and help others through their life story, which in turn will help me as well. This is the kind of battle that I face every day. And I've told you guys from the beginning, and I continue to say throughout the whole thing, is when I do these videos, it's not just, me tooting my horn saying that I've got everything under control, because I don't at times. There are times where I'm a mess. But I'm thankful to have this opportunity to share that with you as I'm on this journey, to show that you yourself do not have to have everything in order to move forward with what you want to do in life, to move forward into something that you feel you're being called towards. You don't have to have, and you don't have to be the perfect human being that has everything correct and in line, and you make no mistakes. You don't have to be the fearless conqueror who tackles life with resounding courage to make a difference in others' lives. It's about being real. It's about being who you truly are. It's not about hiding behind a mask and pretending. That's one thing I hope that you guys get clear, is I do not want to pretend about any part of my life with you guys. I don't want to sit here and say that I've got it all together when I don't. I don't want to put on that mask. I don't want to pretend. I'm hoping that by me being open and vulnerable and sharing where I'm at in the moment, the things that I'm struggling with, the things that I have to walk through, will help you in some way to say, you know what, I can do that. I can make my day a better day today. Enough. Enough of living small in my life, whatever that may look like for you. It's days like today, you know, I didn't have this week's topic pre-selected. I've ran out of all the previous messages that I had kind of given to me before. But yesterday I had the privilege of working with my first client. And, you know, just having that experience of learning about his life, where he's at right now, mentally, emotionally, and all those things, brought a whole lot of things to surface for myself. And it really showed me and reinforced for me the value in what I'm moving forward with and how I can serve others. Having that amazing opportunity to listen and hear this man's life story. To witness the way he perceives himself in the moment. To see this man who's suffering and is just looking for some guidance on how to turn his life around. It was a true gift. I can't say anything more than that. It was a true gift to myself. And I pray that what we were able to talk about and the things that we were able to work through and the task that I gave him for the week helped in some way. And I know it's going to be a journey with him, as it is with me. Every day is a journey. And so by having that experience yesterday, like I said, it just reinforced my mission. It reinforced the value of what I have to offer. The fact that I know that I can be a support for this person. That I can walk beside him, walk alongside him. Speak hope and strength into his life. See, when we are meandering, when we are languishing, when we are holding back ourselves through these fears, through these misconceptions, through these distorted views of ourselves, it doesn't just affect us. See, if I continue down the path I'm going down, if I continue down that path of procrastinating and holding off and doing all these things, if I don't take a stand and say enough, then how am I going to be able to support others? Like the fellow I supported yesterday. Which actually extends even beyond that. Because he's languishing the way he is affecting his whole family, his wife and his 3 darling children. It's affecting the whole family. And it's not only just affecting him and his immediate family, it's affecting his outer family as well, because they're concerned for him. So when you see the bigger picture, how can I not but stand up and say enough? I know I'm getting emotional right now. because I'm speaking to myself as I speak to you. Again, it's not about me. It's not about what I can do in my own strength. I continue to pray every day that the Lord God would give me the strength to walk this path. And I know He has. He wouldn't have put the vision in my heart if He didn't know I was ready for it. He wouldn't have opened up the opportunities to connect me with the people that I've been connected with, to take the training that I've been taking, to be surrounded by others who want to support me in this journey. It all lines up. It all lines up. So it's not just me and my strength. I know God is placing others to help support me and pray for me while I walk this journey. But I have to do my part. I have to do my part. That is the whole point of it. See, God doesn't give us a calling and then just say, sit back and relax. You got nothing to do because I'll take care of it all. And He will take care of it all. Don't get me wrong. He will, and He does take care of things. He aligns things up. He puts things into perspective, but He still allows us to make that choice. That is the amazing thing that God has done, is He still gives us the choice on how we choose to move forward. So I can choose to continue to live small, or I can choose to say enough and stand up and take action. What is God calling for you into? What have you been cowering from? What are you been hiding from? What have you been afraid to do? What is it that you have to stand up and say enough to? See, I get in the way of myself all too often. And I believe for those of you who've been watching me for a long time will recognize that. And I've said this multiple times. And it's just because I say it and I recognize it and I acknowledge it doesn't mean that I've got it mastered. That I still don't succumb to those moments of, right? Because there are those things that are deeply ingrained and rooted with me that I'm still sourcing out for myself. As I continue to embrace the new version of me that is emerging through all of the story, I recognize that my story isn't just about me. Yes, for each of us, we are the central character to our story. And so I don't want to take away from that. But you gotta also understand that even for Jesus, who was the central character of the New Testament of the Bible, the story wasn't just about Jesus. It was about all the people that were surrounding Jesus, that learned from Jesus, that took on the mantle from Jesus after He went to be with the Father. So yes, I may be the central character in my story right now, and you may be the central character in your story right now. But what about all the other people in your life that are being affected by your actions or inactions? What do you have to boldly stand up to and say, enough? Enough of doing this. I need to alter, I need to pivot, I need to move forward in a different direction. I need to take a step back and reevaluate what I'm doing. It's funny that now that I mentioned the whole step back thing, that was one of the lessons I learned from my dad when I was playing baseball, being an outfielder. He says the first thing that you do when a fly ball happens is take one quick step back. It'll change your perspective on the trajectory of the baseball. And from there, you move. That split-second decision to take a quick step back and then move. And sometimes you're just reactionary because you already automatically know, and that comes from experience. But having that ability to take a step back, to see a different perspective, is huge. I'm saying enough today. And I may have to say enough again tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day. And yes, it is going to take some personal effort on my behalf to make things move forward. God has given me the vision. God is working with me. He is providing people that are praying for me. They're cheering me on, that can see the value that I have to offer. And it's not the fact that it's all about me again and my value. I mean, but God gave me that value. You see what I'm saying? I'm not saying that my value is innate because I am who I am, but it is. That's the whole twisted thing about it, is getting my head wrapped around all of this whole concept. See, we try to be humble. We try to make ourselves less than who we are because we think in some way by making ourselves less, we are more. And yes, there are biblical principles around that in the sense that, I just read this about the servant leader. See, the servant leader is one who's willing to serve those who are underneath him and not just be served. That is true humility. It doesn't mean that the leader doesn't see himself as less than those that he's serving. It doesn't mean that he sees himself more than those that he's serving. It's the fact that he's willing to serve those that he's leading. And he's willing to be served because it takes humility to be served. It takes humility to allow others to do something for you instead of saying that I can do it all on my own. I don't need others. That is true humility. Humility is not speaking less of yourself. Let me make that clear. Humility is not speaking less of yourself. That is the lesson that I've been learning. And so I got to say enough to that as well. There's no ego in any of that. And our ego does want to walk in here all the time. You see, our ego is the one that says that we have to speak less of ourselves. Our ego is the one that says that, who am I? When God says, here you are. God has given me this mantle. I believe that. I trust that. I believe that wholeheartedly at times. But my ego says, who are you, Jason? You don't equate to what God has given to you. Or I could say the opposite. I'm greater than what God gave me, which I'm not. I am who I am because that is who God made me. Until next time, much love. I want to thank you today for taking the time to watch this video. As you can tell, I'm very passionate about the messages that I put forward on this channel. And I'm also very passionate about where I'm going and moving forward with in Lifting the Soul Ministries. So if you would like to support me in any way, I would ask that you please hit the like and subscribe button on this channel, but also reach out to me at j.cormac@liftingthesoulministries.com. That is j.cormac@liftingthesoulministries.com. And all this information will be provided in the comments below. Much love.